So your low coolant light comes on, you check your coolant level, and you know, not exactly super low, but it's also not high. In this case, my car actually is not showing the low coolant light yet, but I already knew about this issue. What's going on is we have this little washer fluid tank over here, yeah? You see these two little lines? You pop open the washer fluid tank, and you will notice it's full of coolant. Well, mixed with washer fluid, that is. This little coil is meant to flow coolant through your washer fluid tank and not let it freeze during the wintertime. Now, being in Southern California, there is no need for that. So, I'm going to remove this because one more area for leaking. So, you can bypass this entire coolant circuit by just looping these two together or tracing them back to the source and capping them off if you would like to do that instead. The quicker solution is just to loop them right over here and essentially delete this coil. That'll prevent us from having the coolant and water mix. I should say coolant and washer fluid mix. So my plan right now is to loop these two lines, remove this reservoir, do some cleaning, and then put it all back together. A 3/8 barb like this you can get at a hardware store. This one's made of brass, should work just fine. I have done this on other cars I've owned in the past, but this one for some reason I just haven't done it yet, and I knew it was a problem for quite a while. So we'll get this taken care of, and we'll be back soon. All right, I've got these connected to the 3/8 inch hose bar, but it's pretty much a perfect fit. If I wanted to, I could cut these hoses and make it a bit shorter, but just in case someone down the line, including myself, want to add that circuit back to the system, I do have this hose still here. I'll probably just push it over here to the side, and that should be plenty of space for the tank. Now, let's go ahead and clean up all this area. I'm also going to go ahead and put in a new bulb, a xenon bulb for the low beam while I'm here, and then we should be good to go to put the tank back in and also make sure we top off our coolant reservoir. Things are looking pretty good so far. Gonna do the water pump on this car soon and also just clean the entire block. The valve cover gaskets have been done, so this is all residual. So there's actually not much left, which is pretty dirty, obviously. So we'll get to all this stuff eventually, but this car is very much a long-term project. But yeah, it is still driving quite well, all things considered. I just kind of get in the car, turn the key, and it just kind of goes. So hard to beat that. All right, we've got our hoses nicely tucked away on the side over there. You can hardly see them, but they do curl around here. Just keep in mind that if you do have them chafing against a piece of metal, like mine are slightly over here, I'm gonna probably put something in here to prevent that from happening, only because this does carry coolant, and if this hose does leak, you will have coolant loss. Now, I've topped off the coolant reservoir, and I've topped off the washer fluid bottle, and that's pretty much it. All I have to do now is repair this one tab that broke quite a while ago. Other than that, this thing's good to go. I think this is a pretty quick and easy fix. I did go ahead and clean up a bunch of stuff. You can see the frame is nice and clean, but just kind of while you're in there kind of stuff. But other than that, pretty simple and a good way to prevent coolant loss over time if you do have this problem happening. Now, if you do live in a colder climate, just get some lower temperature rated washer fluid, in my opinion. That's a much easier thing to do than having to deal with all this nonsense. So just keep that in mind. And also, if you want to look at the coil over here, you can actually see mine was cracked and was just letting coolant essentially flow back and forth. So that'll do it for sure. Anyways, guys, that wraps up this quick little video, but I'll see you in the next one.